I am not a morning person, but this week that all changes. For the next week, I am going to attempt to wake up at 5 a.m. every day for a week to see if it helps me be more productive and read more. Normally, I wake up at 8 or 9 a.m. I am lucky enough to work freelance and do some content creation, therefore I can set my own hours, but I don't like to wake up early. It is my least favorite thing, but when I do wake up early, I find that I have more time to myself and I can get more things done. So I've been seeing this trend all around BookTube and figured since I love to do challenges like this that I would give it a try myself. I watched Isabel at Thorn of Pages do this and was inspired by her video, so I'll link it down below. I am going to be doing this for a full work week, so Monday to Friday. I'll see you on Monday.
It's 5 a.m. Come to my couch.
Good morning. Let's get some coffee. Hello, welcome to day one of waking up at 5 a.m. to see if I'm more productive and read more. Here is my TBR. I'm currently reading the next chapter for my TBR tackle video, so I will be tackling this today. I'm 80 pages in. Once I finish that, I'll move on to Love at Second Sight by F.T. Lukens. Is it a good idea to read a book out of my comfort zone when I'm half asleep? Probably not, but we'll find out together. I'm really excited for this challenge because I will get to see the sunrise and I really want to see if I do read more. I'm excited to do this because I never do morning challenges. Usually it's at night. I've done one where I read a short story collection called Up All Night and I read each story at night and that was really fun, so I'll link that below. But besides that, I don't do challenges like this, so I'm very curious to see how it goes. As I've already said, I'm not a morning person and I'm not a morning reader. I don't read when I first wake up. I either listen to music, a podcast, or a YouTube video because it helps stimulate my brain. I feel when I'm very tired and trying to read, it just doesn't work out unless I have the audio or something. So I'm really interested to see how this is going to go for me. Last night I tried to strategize and go to bed early. I was literally in bed at 8 p.m. I had all of my devices off and everything and I was just reading. I took some melatonin and then I just could not go to sleep. I don't know how many hours I slept, but it was definitely not a full 8. It might have been like 4 hours. I did not sleep at all. And also if you hear anything, it's my cat. Then this morning I wake up and I'm so glad I had iced coffee because I looked into my coffee canister and there was none. I am going to the store later today, so I will grab some. I am going over to the store later today, so I'll grab some grounds, but I'm glad that I picked up some iced coffee. Now, with that out of the way, the sun is rising, and I am going to start reading.
Jag brukade läsa om kärlek, fascinerande. Hur de var galna i varandra, passionerade.
It's a little over an hour now, and I have read about 20 pages of the next chapter. I've hit 100 pages. I'm going to read until 7, and then I'm going to switch over to my computer and start to edit some videos. I need to edit a video for tomorrow, which is my mid-year check-in / mid-year calm down tag, so that is a priority. I'm going to end my morning around 9. Then I will have the rest of the day to get some more work done, and like I said, I have to head over to the store. This is a morning vlog, so you will see me only in the mornings, but that is my little update for now. I feel like I am reading more, and I do have limits on my phone. So I have screen limits through ScreenZen, which is a free app, and I'm able to block a bunch of apps until a certain time. I have it set till 8:30. So that's my little update right now. I feel very productive, and it helps that I just want to keep reading this book. It's very good and fast paced. I'm gonna get some breakfast, continue reading the next chapter, and I will see you later.
Aldrig trodde jag att något sånt ska hända mig. Men jag kunde inte varit längre ifrån sanningen. Har hittat någon han är lika bra som...
It's almost 10 o'clock and I have gotten some editing in, but not much. So I would like to continue that later today, but I wanted to give a little update of how I'm feeling. For the most part, I feel like I was productive. I got 108 pages into the next chapter. I answered some emails. I got my files converted and was able to start editing tomorrow's video. So I would say so far, I think this is productive, but because I didn't get enough sleep, I'm really tired. I feel like I'm going to be fueled by coffee throughout this week, which is not a bad thing, but I'm going to try to drink some water throughout the day, and I might even take a nap. I think that's something I really need to do today and throughout this experiment. So I am going to finish off day 1 here, and I will see you tomorrow morning.
It's 5 a.m. coming to my couch.
Good morning. It's day 2, and I need some coffee. Coffee has been secured. I feel like I woke up better this morning, and I had a better sleep last night. I did sleep here on this couch so that I could attend to everything and just be able to wake up, and I think it went pretty well. I am very excited to have this coffee though. So I'm going to read more of the next chapter. I did not finish it up yesterday, but I did read a little bit last night, but I really need to finish that book up so I can start this. So we'll see how far I can get this morning. I'm going to do what I did yesterday, where I read at least till 7 and then I do some work around 8, because I still need to edit that video. I finished the edit, but I need to just go through it and change some things and then render to go up today on YouTube. So that will be up, but that is my plan for today. I'm going to read, drink this coffee, and I'll see you in a bit.
It's 5 a.m. coming to my couch.
Good morning, it's day 3, and I'm feeling it this morning. I even went to bed early, but I'm just very tired. I think when I take a nap is what really screws me, because I ended up taking like an hour nap yesterday, and now I feel so tired this morning where I could just go back to sleep, but I won't. I've got my coffee, the cat is fed, and I'm going to finish up the next chapter. I'm on page 200 out of 306. I was hoping to finish it yesterday, but it just did not happen. So my goal is to wrap it up today so I can finally get into more books for this vlog. Like, this is a reading experiment, so I don't need to finish anything. That being said, I want to reflect on yesterday. Yesterday was my upload day. I post on this channel Tuesdays and Saturdays. Yesterday I had to run through an edit of my video, and since I started doing that around like 7 a.m. I was able to get it up at a normal time. Usually when I have days where I haven't finished the upload yet, usually I finish it the day before or a couple days so that I can caption it, and that was not the case yesterday, but because I was up early, I was able to get it up in the morning. This was my mid-year reading check-in. It was the mid-year reading check-in tag. It's under a different name, but I don't use that title because it's ableist, and the mid-year calm down tag, so I'll have that linked up above for you. But as you can see, I had so much time that I was able to finish up. I feel like I've done most things in the morning that I don't know what to do with the rest of my day. I could read, but most of the time I'm just way too tired to actually do it. So if I were to adapt this into my life, I would obviously have to change some things around. Okay. What, you didn't like that? Okay, Leo wants my attention, so I'm gonna go try to read some of this, and I will be back in an hour.
Ooh, yeah, yeah, baby. No, no. We never said exclusive. I just promised.
It's 9 o'clock and I just finished up the next chapter. I really enjoyed this. I will be sharing my full thoughts in my episode of TBR Tackle, which will already be up, so I'll link that above as well and in my description. I cannot wait to talk about this because I really enjoyed it. This brings us to the end of day 3. Before I go, I'm going to share my TBR because I'm changing things around so that I can at least review a book in this video. I will still be reading Love at Second Sight by F.T. Lukens. This is a chunky book. I highly doubt that I'm going to finish it by Friday. If you missed it, last month I received some fun Pride Month book mail and I unboxed it in a video, so I'll link that above as well. Jessica Kingsley Publishing sent me a huge package full of goodies. One of those books is Gender is Strange, so I'm gonna add that to my TBR for this video. That's everything I'm planning to read. See you in the morning.
It's 5 a.m. coming to my couch. Jag brukade läsa om kärlek, fascinerande.
Good morning. It is day 4 of this challenge, and I'm so ready for it to be over. I can't wait to just sleep normally. It is almost 7 p.m. I figured I would update you and say hello. I crashed last night after I had reading sprints. I did some evening sprints to change things up. Here on my channel every Wednesday I host reading sprints. Usually they are 5 hours from 10:30 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. Eastern, but this week I decided to change things up and do some evening sprints. I appreciate everybody who came out. Once I finished up sprints around 8:30, I came down, ate my dinner, put on Food Network, and fell asleep. I was so tired, but I was so happy that I was able to go to bed early because I've been going to bed later because I was watching baseball, but there's no baseball games on. I feel like I could sleep forever. This is my second cup of coffee, but it's almost 7 o'clock, so I figured that I would give you a little reading update because I am about to go and edit some videos and probably get a head start on this video. As you saw, I started Love at Second Sight by F.T. Lukens. This is my first time ever reading from this author, and Simon Teen sent me an ARC, so thank you to them. Of course, this is just a review copy and I'm not being paid. I'm definitely not going to finish this by tomorrow. I am 20 pages in. I am enjoying it. We're following Cam, who is starting at a new high school. It is a combination of humans and paranormal people, including their friend Al, who is a witch. I really like the concept of this. I don't read occults often. It's not something I gravitate toward. This is so niche, but it reminds me of Julie and the Phantoms. Hear me out. It's because our main character, Cam, his parents are not the best people. His mom makes snide comments and is rude. For some reason, she just is reminding me of Emily, Luke's mother. I'm just getting those vibes due to some dialogue that was exchanged. I could be way off on this, but they also mention a witch band. Now, Julian the Phantoms does not have witches, it has ghosts, but it just has those vibes. I'm really interested to see how this goes because the plot is Cam learns that he has psychic abilities. He sees a vision of somebody being murdered. So him and his friends set out to find out what this is all about and who the killer is. I love those plot lines, so I'm really curious to see how this goes. I've heard great things about it. That's my reading update for this morning. I'm going to finish this cup of coffee, go edit, and I will see you tomorrow for the last day of this challenge. And I'll reflect on this challenge and share my thoughts and if I would ever do this again, plus how I could add some of these elements into my reading life. That's it for now. I'll see you tomorrow.
It's 5 a.m. coming to my couch.
Good morning. It's the last day of this challenge and it finally broke me. I got no sleep last night. I got like 5 hours of sleep, if that. So I just made a decision this morning that I was like, I am not going to have the energy to film and read. So I decided to sleep in. I'm gonna grab some coffee, read a little bit, and then my big plan for today and this morning is I need to film a video because I tried to film it yesterday and there was a bunch of noisy lawnmowers and I just gave up. So let me get my coffee and I will see you in a bit. This book does not have any page numbers, but I'm a few pages in, and I wanted to talk to you about it because this is so good. This is exactly what I think is going to help people learn more about the trans community because it goes into everything. It specifically talks about different identities and why somebody might identify with being trans, their statistics, and I think this is so good. Honestly, it's going to be required reading, and I'm going to probably be putting this in lists of like nonfiction to learn about trans people or like my favorite nonfiction for allies because this goes into everything. I was sent it by JKP, Jessica Kingsley Publishing, back in June. They sent me a package for Pride and it included this book as well as some other things, and I really wasn't 100% sure about this and I'm impressed. I think this is so good. I just think it is so detailed and it is going to help people learn so much about trans people. I also think if somebody's questioning their identity, this is a go-to book because it just goes over everything. This is why I love this publisher. They publish queer and trans nonfiction, and I think that they do a wonderful job. I've never read a book from them that I haven't liked. I've only read picture books from them, but of those picture books I read, they're some of my favorites. They just publish some of the best queer and trans nonfiction. So I'm gonna continue to read this. My camera's actually beeping at me, which is not good because I need to film. Boy, I really wish I could have filmed yesterday. That was my time, but I couldn't. So I'm going to finish this up and I'll see you in a bit. It's around 10 a.m. I just finished cleaning, which is why I may look disheveled and sweaty. The challenge is officially over, and for the most part, I did wake up at 5 a.m. to read and be productive. I do have a reading update, and I will also just be talking about how this challenge went for me and if I would do it again. I cannot wait to go back to my sleep schedule. I am going to sleep in tomorrow, and it's going to feel great. While I was eating breakfast, I finished Gender is Really Strange by Teddy Gautiez and art by Sophie Standing. I thought this was so good. It is a science medicine-based comic about gender. It talks about being gender expansive, how hormones can relate to mental health, but it doesn't just focus on transness, it focuses on gender and sex as a whole, sexism, and what I love the most is the origins, because it touched on how gender is cultural. We know this with different languages. Some languages don't have a gender neutral pronoun, but I loved learning about how gender was originally created and how it has been implemented into our society. The book also talks about how harmful some of the practices by the man who created gender is. I read plenty nonfiction, and I have never seen that before, where they do condemn the person they're talking about. I really appreciated that. That's why I think this is such a good resource. When I was in community college, I took a human sexuality class, and I just kept thinking about how this would be a great book to teach in that class, because it goes over so many things, and even just extra things that I didn't even know about. It talks about how gender and neurodiversity can correlate, and it mentions people who coined the terms neurodivergent, and there's a specific gender that I didn't know about. I may be pronouncing it wrong, but it's audi-gender, having a gender that is so influenced by one's autism that one's gender and autism are inherently linked. I know about transness and neurodiversity, especially autism, being linked, so I thought that was really fascinating. I highly recommend this to anybody that is curious about history, science, medicine, and love statistics. I'm so glad I popped this into this vlog. However, when I was reading it this morning, I kept thinking about how I'm literally reading a nonfiction book when I'm on like 5 hours of sleep. I was like, why am I doing this to myself? I am obtaining like specific facts and statistics when my brain is not even fully awake, so that probably wasn't the best choice, but I still had fun with it, and I was able to retain all of my information, so that's pretty good. Last night I read a little bit more of Love at Second Sight. I am 20 pages in, and I finished the next chapter. I feel like this was very productive. I finished 2 books, one that was a little bit lengthy, but I was 80 pages into the next chapter and I was able to finish it, and it's 304 pages. Here's how many pages I read this week. I feel like this was a really good experiment. It was fun. I actually enjoyed waking up early and getting my day started. I implemented some things that I normally wouldn't. Besides my cat and his noises, it was pretty quiet. I enjoyed the peacefulness and having a set morning routine. However, I cherish my sleep, and I do not think I would wake up at 5 a.m. again. This is my fix. I don't need to wake up at 5 a.m., but I would like to wake up a little bit earlier. I think when I have days that I need to finish a book on time, I would do something like this. Possibly wake up at 6. I do this sometimes where I wake up at like 7, I have my coffee, and then I read until usually like noon is when I finish up the book. So I would like to adapt something like this into my daily routine, or just when I feel like I need to be more productive. Those are all of my thoughts on the Reading at 5 a.m. challenge. Thank you so much for watching and clicking on this video. I really appreciate it. If you're new here, hi, I'm Alex. I'm a trans man who loves to uplift queer and trans books, so if you're into that, feel free to hit subscribe. I would love to have you a part of my community. While you're down there, give the video a like and let me know in the comments, are you a morning person? And do you read in the morning? Thank you to my top patrons for their support this month. I really appreciate it. If you would like to become a paperback pal and receive exclusive content every month, the link is down below to my Patreon. It helps me so much. It is the best way to support my channel, so if my content's ever been meaningful to you, I would love to have you over there. If you'd like to watch more, I'll link my recent experiment here where I let my phone pickups decide how many pages I read for a week, and you can subscribe there. Bye.